Face everything and rejoice. This awful mask is used for fun at Halloween party these days. A few centuries ago, this kind of look frightened and terrified people. It allowed taming and controlling them in some way. Fear was used to be a powerful tool to manage common folk. We still have fear these days, fear of death, public speaking, darkness, height, fail, etc. When I was a child, I used to ask a question to my father: why do people need fear? It makes our life so terrible. He replied me calmly, for self-preservation. I decided to choose this topic of fear since many of us need to face fear of public speaking. It is a type of social fear. The other ones, fear of blame, misunderstanding, uncertainty, and so on. Today I'm going to talk about social fears and how to overcome its adverse effect. I found it useful to study this topic a little bit wider and to share it with you. The specific goal of my speech is motivating you to start facing your own social fears. So, firstly, let's analyze how and why fear appears. Have you ever been scared by someone who suddenly bumped into you or by a car moving fast towards you? Quite often in those situations, we are shocked, blanched with terror, and cannot move at all. Alike to an insect which stops instantly when it feels danger. Similarly, we all have been gifted with the instinct of self-preservation in order to be hidden from dangers and wild animals. When we have fear, two hormones, adrenaline and noradrenaline, start releasing. They allow us to mobilize ourselves, so our blood flows to our hearts and muscles. Thus, the heartbeat becomes more frequent. Also, our vessels become narrower, which increases our blood pressure and decreases brain activity. This is why it is hard to make a rational decision when we have fear. So this condition helps us to fight or to run away. However, there can be another type of reaction, like tremble or numbness of limbs, which is explained by energy redundancy. So if a human being does not fight or run away, so energy released by his fear is directed into the wrong way. Modern humans usually do not have any hazard from dangerous animals. Apart from having threat from other people, our modern fears are more related to social fears. In those cases, the aforementioned reactions are irrelevant, and they cause adverse effects. Additionally, there is one factor which chases a person who has fears. I would like to give you an example from my life to explain it clearly. I worked as a volunteer at shelter house for orphans in Malaysia. Anyone who has ever been there should know that there are a lot of lizards, and they can creep into houses as cockroaches to our houses before. Another volunteer who also worked there was very afraid of them, as she was sleeping in the library on the chairs with lights on. Nevertheless, they pursued her everywhere. By giving you this example, I would like to say that usually our fears chase us and our apprehensions become real. To prevent that, I offer you to get rid of them at their beginning stage. So how to struggle with them? First of all, we need to reveal the real reason of fear. In case of a lizard, it might be the pain from its bite. Secondly, think about the worst thing that might be and possible consequences. In many cases, they are not fatal and there should be some ways out. Thirdly, to find solutions to avoid those consequences. I presented you 3 questions in order to analyze your question of your fear. If your fear is very strong, that you cannot think properly, and you have adverse effects like palpitation, tremble, or extra sweating, then you can follow the following methods. The first one, utilize your extra energy. Run until you are tired. Breathe deeply, or do some energetic physical activity. Secondly, repeat affirmations like, I am brave, the audience is waiting for my speech, I'm ready to take a risk. The third one, recall inspirational examples or brave heroes to your mind and think about what they would do in that situation. And further, fake it until you make it. I applied those. If you find it hard, take little steps to overcome your fears. For example, if you're afraid of height, try to look down from the second floor first, then from the third floor after some time, etc. I applied those methods to defeat my own fears of uncertainty and height. I would like to assure you they do work. When I conquered my fear of height, I felt endless happiness, pride, and expansion of my limits. I'm not an expert on that field and I'm still on my way. At the moment I'm struggling with the fear of public speaking. And there are many ways to rise above your fears. I presented you 3, and all of them are based on analyzing and practicing them to confront them. So first of all, we need to answer to 3 questions in order to analyze them. What is the real reason of fear? What is the worst outcome that might be and how that can be prevented? 3 methods to escape adverse effects, like utilizing your energy, repeating affirmations, and being inspired by brave heroes. After applying those methods, I'm sure all of you will be able to conquer your own fears, because fear stands for face everything and rejoice. Courage is not the absence of fear, but it is about struggling with it. By doing it once, we will become braver and our horizons will become wider.